Oh, how quickly they forget. How quickly they forget. There was a stock named Facebook that was once a shit stock. This stock was just garbage. No one wanted any piece of this stock. And then 5 years later, this was the God stock. This was the stock everybody said is the best stock in the stock market. The creme de la creme. You gotta be invested in Facebook. Put your money in Facebook. Invest in Facebook. Facebook, Facebook, Facebook. Something's funny. The stock market sometimes kind of reminds me of sports. 5 years ago, I couldn't find anybody. Even in San Francisco, repping Golden State Warriors. Who was a Golden State Warriors fan 5 years ago? I couldn't find them. And now all of a sudden, across every city in the United States of America, you're going to find people wearing Golden State Warrior clothing. San Francisco is like Golden State Warrior capital now. Everybody backs the Golden State Warriors. It's funny how when you start winning, everybody starts getting your back. But when you're losing, no one's there. So that's what we're kind of talking about with Facebook now. And we're going to look back. We're going to do a little history lesson. We're going to look back at some of the things that were said right or wrong about Facebook back then and how this was just an absolute shit stock. No one wanted this stock, guys. The only time I was ever invested in Facebook was when it would drop down to $18 and some change. I bought in, I made a couple percent real fast, and then I sold like an absolute idiot. So it was a really bad move, but I'm glad I at least bought in back then because at least I was a believer back then when no one else was a believer in Facebook. I just wish I would have held for longer and not just taken, I think I made like a 4% gain or something like that in a very quick amount of time. It was like a couple weeks. And then I had other stocks I really liked at that time. So I was like, I'll just sell it. And I sold my Facebook. But if you own Facebook now, you're getting my sloppy seconds. Just remember that. So let's look at this here. This is after one of their first earnings, right? So basically, if you don't know the story, Facebook dropped 50% about 6 months after its IPO. Facebook earnings matched analyst expectations when it reported after the bell Thursday. The company also delivered a 32% gain in second quarter revenue to $1.18 billion, slightly topping forecasts. But investors are not sure how the company will bring in more revenue from its 955 million users. That's how many it had at the time. In particular, investors are concerned about how Facebook will make money off its mobile platform. Oh gosh, sometimes I see stuff and it just makes me laugh. Oh, how the hell are they going to make money off their mobile platform? Just people have no vision, they see the past and they think that's the way it's going to be, and they just don't see the vision, guys. As more and more users access Facebook from smartphones, the company has faced criticism for not doing enough to keep up with the swift mobile shift. The problem is that smaller screens on mobile devices, there's less space on which Facebook can advertise. And like, oh man, it amazes me. People just have no vision on how impactful something can be. They look at that and they say, oh, it's a smaller screen they got to look at, not realizing, oh, guess what? Phones are getting bigger. Like the trend was already starting to get bigger at that time. Like Samsung was already pushing bigger phones at that time, 2012, right? So the trend was about small screens was like a false narrative because guess what? People are starting to prefer bigger and bigger screens at that time. Even the iPhone 5 was bigger than the iPhone 4s. Or was it like an extra half of inch or whatever? So like no vision, no like looking around, seeing these things. Also, like, did they ever think like, wow, this is going to be freaking powerful because now, oh shit, I don't have my phone on me. Everybody's going to have a smartphone that they can pull up the Facebook app anytime they want. They can look at Instagram anytime they want on their phone. Did they ever think about that? Whereas you used to just have to be on a desktop at home if you want to view Facebook. So now instead of logging into Facebook once a day or twice a day when you're at home, you can do it 45 times a day. You could do it at work. You can do it on the train. You can do it on the subway, whatever. You can do it at the airport. You can pull it up whenever. So now there's a lot more chances to advertise because now people have it right in their pocket. They can go on Facebook or Instagram or whatever they want right at that time. No freaking vision. No vision. Like the biggest thing, like between people that really achieve success in this world and ones that don't, is the ones that just don't have any damn vision at the end of the day. Like, I've come to that conclusion. Now, usually I get on Analyst, and usually I don't like Analyst, but I got to give this particular analyst some mad credit because they at least had some vision behind this one. So the company didn't provide any guidance for next quarter, which analysts say have spurred investors' fear and added to the selling pressure on Facebook stock. But some analysts say investors are missing the bigger picture by focusing on the short term. This is from an analyst here. Monetizing the mobile ad will take them time, and they have to balance the growth with user experience, which is why you may not see growth quarter to quarter, said, I don't even want to try to pronounce that name, but an analyst at Stern Agee. But with so many users, Bahati has no doubt that Facebook's advertising strategy will take off. Investors just have to give it time. There's another quote from him here. The long-term history of online advertising suggests that advertising follows eyeballs. And these guys have eyeballs, he said. The gap that exists between them right now will close. The process is what the company said was focusing on. Like, great vision by this analyst. At least they understand that eyeballs mean money. Like, it doesn't matter if there's a new platform that comes out, everybody will lag it as far as advertising on that, but over time the advertisers will catch up and they'll advertise because eyeballs mean people are watching that. It's the same reason why every day I wake up and I got a box full of emails from people saying, hey, advertise my product, advertise my service, I'll pay you $500, I'll pay you $1,000. Hey, can you do a review on this thing? Or we'll give you a free subscription to this, whatever. Like, people throw money at me every time because I got eyeballs on my channel. They want to get in my pockets however they can, so they can get on my screen, so they can get in front of my eyeballs at the end of the day, guys. People understand that. It just takes time to build up to that. By the way, I don't do any of that stuff, so it's not really interesting to me. I sell my own products, my own book, and more stuff coming, in years to come and whatnot. But that is what happens at the end of the day. So I'll give that analyst credit. I get on analysts a lot, but at least that one saw the vision, realized, like, very simple. Like, this is not complex stuff, guys. Where the eyeballs go, the advertisers follow. And let's look at this here. So this is an article here from, I think, TechCrunch. Facebook stock just hit a new low and has now lost more than 50% of its value since the social network's IPO this May. To drop over 50% in about a 6-month span at your IPO, that's like one of the worst performing ones I've ever seen. Like, you're garbage. Like, you're below garbage if your stock drops over 50% after its IPO, especially within a 6-month span. Like you are the trash of trash at the end of the day. Holy smokes. This new record low comes after analyst firm BMO Capital Markets cuts its price estimate for the company's shares from $25 to $15 today. This guy was cutting Facebook shares to $15 a share. Are you kidding me? Why? Mainly because the stock had been dropping, and he's like, oh, I need to follow the trend. So let me cut my price target on this one to $15. This stock 5 years later now is $150 plus. Think about that. He was cutting his price target to $15 in 2012. 5 years later, the stock's over $150. Another one with no vision out there. Let's look at this article here. Shares of Facebook dipped below $20 for the first time on Thursday, pummeled by ongoing doubts about its growth prospects, a string of recent executive departures on August 16th, expiration lockup, period of insider shares are being sold. Let's look at 2 lines down here. This is a quote from this guy. The sentiment on this thing is so negative, said the analyst from Capital Markets, Victor Anthony. I think this may continue to tick down until we see some sort of meaningful catalyst, which unfortunately may not show until third quarter earnings. So there's always a rhyme or a reason to push some stocks down, right? But what it came down to at the end of the day, people just did not see the vision in Facebook. People didn't understand how big Instagram was going to be. How, guess what? Back then, they weren't even advertising on Instagram, right? When they bought Instagram, which they didn't technically buy until, I think, 2013, they didn't even advertise on that, really start pushing it until like 2015, 2016. So people just didn't understand that. when you got the eyeballs, you're going to start advertising. People didn't understand that, hey, you know what? They're going to put ads. Ads will be just as integrated, just as well on a mobile as they are desktop. And they might even be clicked more on a mobile than a desktop at the end of the day. And a lot of people just didn't understand Facebook. A lot of people hated Facebook the same way people hate Snapchat now. And they say Snapchat is garbage and a bunch of little kids use it. Guess what? That's what I heard time and time again when I would watch financial news networks. People wouldn't understand how Facebook makes money, how Facebook advertises. A bunch of old guys saying, oh, we don't get it. A bunch of kids watching that. They're never going to make money. That's not a serious business model. A bunch of people said that about Google too, way back in the day when Google was coming out, guys. It's always a rhyme or reason. The older people don't understand it. A lot of the newer cats, they're afraid to get behind something because it's new at the end of the day. So it's the same story over and over and over again, guys. I hope you enjoy this history lesson about a stock that was garbage named Facebook that turned into the God stock over time. And, you know, people just didn't see the vision at the end of the day. Otherwise, they would have been buying when it was $20 a share. And, you know, look where the stock's at now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little history lesson. I know a lot of you guys that watch my channel weren't even investing back then. And some of you guys that were investing, you probably just even forgot what happened back then. Like I witnessed it all. I was investing back then. I invested in Facebook back then, guys. So I know the whole story. I hope you enjoyed this. If you just came across this channel, oh man, if you guys are watching this video, you're already subscribed. Thank you for watching and have a great day.